As we cruise past the age of 50, the biggest risk to our investments might not actually be the market. It might be our own decisions. Because as we near retirement, mistakes, they cost more. Not just financially, but also emotionally. Hi, I'm Scott Mullet. Oh, you are too kind. You are too kind. Welcome to the Wise Lane, where we focus on money, mindset, and modern living for us over 50 years. 50 years. Yeah. Young folks, you are always welcome to get an early preview on your later life. Now, on this episode of The Wise Lane, we're talking about the biggest investing mistakes people make in that final third of our lives, and importantly, how to avoid them. Our previous episode, episode 17, was the first in this multi-part series we're doing, on investing over the age of 50. In episode 17, we talked about the investing mindset shift that needs to happen after 50. In summary, investing stops being just about growth or growing the number. It becomes about balance, right? You got growth, protection, and income. But when people don't fully adjust to that shift, they sometimes can overcorrect. And that's where problems begin. And that's what we'll be talking about in this episode. The 5 mistakes to avoid. Drum roll, please, Mr. Sound Effect. And here is mistake number 1 to avoid. Getting too conservative too early. And this mistake can surprise a lot of people because as you get into your late 50s or you're nearing retirement, many investors panic. Oh no. And they move heavily into cash or ultra safe assets because it feels responsible. It feels cautious. But here's the problem. You may still have a 25 to 35 year investing horizon, depending on when you retire or how long you end up living. But of course, inflation, it doesn't retire when you do. If your portfolio becomes too conservative too early, you risk something slower, but just as dangerous. You risk outliving your purchasing power, right? Because the goal in retirement isn't just zero volatility, it's sustainable balance. All right, mistake number 2 is chasing income without understanding the risks of that. As we near and especially enter retirement, the word income becomes very attractive. Oh, hello there. Hello. Right? It's dividends, high yield funds, real estate promises, annuity pitches on TV or disguised as free dinner seminars that you receive in the mail or email. But chasing yield without understanding the underlying risk can eventually and dramatically increase volatility of your portfolio. Reaching for that higher yield, reach for it. Well, it can mean a higher concentration in your investments, higher credit risk, lower flexibility, or the inability to withdraw funds at your convenience because the funds might be locked up. Income should support stability, not create new exposure that we don't fully understand. Mistake number 3, panic selling during market drops. Market declines feel very different later in life, right? At 35, a downturn, it kind of feels temporary. It's a speed bump. But at 65, it can feel threatening. Selling during volatility can lock in losses, especially if you're selling for withdrawal purposes versus a reallocation. The wiser move isn't reacting, it's preparing in advance. So have a portion of your portfolio in emergency cash or other short-term safe investments so you can access needed cash without being forced to sell during a market downturn. Please see the Wise Lane episode 12 and the money safety test for more information on that. Markets are unpredictable. Our behavior doesn't have to be. All right, mistake number 4, ignoring tax strategy. because taxes really do matter more even as you age, because you're doing withdrawals, you are taking capital gains, you've got required distributions, or the RMDs as they're called, Social Security, pension coordinations, all of that. Small inefficiencies can cost thousands of dollars over time. And it's not about aggressive tax tactics, it's about awareness, because what you keep matters more than what you earn. Now, either do lots of research, or use a premium software package, or hire a professional accountant. Just please, let's not close our eyes and guess, because the IRS usually wins. So mistake number 5, financial support without clear limits. And this is one that's not often discussed as much unless you subscribe to the Wise Lane, because we talked about this back in episode 10, helping adult kids to bounce back. And also in episode 13 and 14, discussing the sandwich generation. Because financial support can have many, many looks to it. Maybe it's helping adult children, or supporting aging parents, co-signing loans, covering emergencies, lots of different angles, right? And our generosity can be admirable, very admirable. But our retirement funds are not a revolving line of credit. Without clear boundaries, emotional decisions can quietly erode long-term security. Supporting family is important. Yes, it is. But so is protecting our own future financial independence. That's important too. All right, wrapping up and tying with a bow. To me, retirement investing becomes less about maximizing returns or beating the market, although I still love to beat the market. But it's more about minimizing avoidable mistakes. It's about aligning money with stability, clarity, and peace of mind. Because protecting what we built is just as important as building it. All right, here's a little preview coming up next on episode 19 of The Wise Lane. We're going to answer the question behind a lot of this, which is, how much risk should we take after 50? I'll give you a hint. The right answer isn't based on age alone. It's based on something far more important. All right, as we part, a final request to like and subscribe for more Wise Lane. I'm Scott Mullet. Thanks for watching.